why don't you wear a three-piece suit like everybody else so they won't know who to shoot? But they had their mission and they accomplished their mission, you know. But I was saying, no, y'all need to blend in because I was really in support of Huey P. and the guys, you know. I mean, I really, and guess what? Guess where I hung out a lot of the time in San Francisco? At the Black House, you know, because we had our own, you know, version of the White House, right, in San Francisco. I love those guys. I mean, I just loved them. You know, I loved them. Mm.
So where do you think that we are now in terms of the political spectrum and the political, as you might call it, the political matrix? So how did we manage to get, in your opinion, how did we manage to get a Trump in the White House?
Well, you see, he appealed to the basis aspects of humanity. And when you appeal to the basis aspects of humanity, you're going to get a bigger crowd, you know, because let's face it, evolved people, you know, sometimes evolved people don't even want to get their hands dirty with politics, you know, but they have to, you know, and it's necessary. But here's the beauty of this whole thing is there are people who were racist who you would have never known was racist unless this man had won, right? They'd have still been in the closet, right? And so a whole lot of truth is being revealed. A whole lot of people have come out and voiced their racist attitude and lost their jobs, right? So all of this is showing you what we need to deal with, and that whole scene is telling me that me and you and people who look like us and people who care about us need to unite, right, and take care of business. That's just a message that says, hey, we dropped the ball, you know, on our foot, you know. But let me tell you this. I feel two ways about this. I also feel that America came and got me, you know, from my home and brought me here. And then this person who says that they're superior to me wanted me to do the work for them. So if you're superior to me, why wouldn't you do the work so it would be more superior? Obviously, I contributed so much to this country that if you tried to repay me, you would give me everything you have. You know, so don't come to me and tell me that you're superior. You had to travel all of that far just to come get me to build your country for you. You know, I'm not going to believe that you're superior. And then don't try to sell me your God, because I have my own concept of God, and my concept of God is I believe in the laws of karma. I believe that we sow and we reap. And I believe that the people who taught the original slaves about God didn't know God. So thusly we got off on the wrong foot, kind of. You know, now we can correct this by doing some study. But we were sold a God that was created in the image of the slave master. Then I totally understand Mr. Farrakhan going in another direction because it was necessary, and I love the brother, and I have no qualms or as a matter of fact, every time he shows up in town, I'm there to hear him speak. You know, I am not a black Muslim, but I respect everybody who were able to break away from the God of the slave master, and then we have to our own concept. We have to discover our own concept of the God self. You see, we're made in the image and likeness of some creator, and every religion speaks of that. But we have to, you know, in other words, we can't let somebody else define us or tell us who we is. We have to define ourselves. We have to define our own spirituality. And I don't spoke in church Sunday, you know, and I can hang out with people who have certain beliefs that are not my beliefs. But I believe that we have unlimited potential within us, and I believe that the present religious system is a spiritual system. You see, so religion is one thing, spirituality is another. And when you see people who are spiritual people, I think like Brother Malcolm X, Brother Malcolm X went to Mecca and found spiritual people, and it changed his life, right? So there's a difference between spirituality and religion. And the other thing, too, if somebody from a church is listening to me, I would like for you to come out into the street with me and help teach these young drug dealers that I got something that they can sell to an undercover police officer and still have a nice day. Okay? So we need to start healing our community, and we need to stop collecting money that disappears. Billions of dollars are collected in the church that it disappears. It's not going back into the community. So we need to rearrange that so that we are helping ourselves.
Yeah, you have a very valid and interesting point there. And I was thinking about what you were saying about spirituality, because one of the things that I think that we seem to miss with our whole spiritual nature and the thing about being spiritual beings is our connection with nature. Because a lot of times we sit there and we observe what's going on in nature and we observe things of that nature, but we don't really pay attention, because a lot of times, in my opinion, something as simple as the house pets, your cat and your dog, and definitely definitely the animals that are out in the wild, like the raccoons and the deers and the birds and the bees, are probably trying to tell us stuff, but if we would only listen. So I know one of the stories that I have told, I think I might have even told it on this show before, but I've definitely told it to friends of mine, is that one of the things I remember about 9/11, which is today's date and everything, is that from what I remember, I don't remember seeing a lot of animals around on that particular day. It's almost like they got, you talk about energy, it's almost like they got an energy message that the humans are about to do something stupid. So y'all might want to go duck and dodge, because I remember being at a friend's art gallery on that particular day. Actually, it was later. I think it might have been the day after the attacks, but because that day I was actually found out about the attacks when I was going to Central's radio station. But I want to say maybe definitely on, if not that day, definitely the few days afterwards, I didn't see as many birds. I definitely didn't see as many squirrels. And I've actually risen this question to friends of mine, including some that live in the city. And when I brought this up, some of them have been like, some of them haven't had that clear of a memory. Some of them have had similar memories. They've been like, come to think of it, I don't remember seeing that many either. So I sometimes think that, the God force and everything definitely sends messages out to our animal brethren and our plant brethren, and they oftentimes listen even better than we do. So sometimes we have to pay attention to what.
That. Yeah, I really believe what you're saying. I really believe what you're saying.
Yeah, because I think that oftentimes, too often, we don't pay that much attention to what the animals are trying to tell us, because, imagine that, I don't know this for a fact, but I have friends in Houston, but I imagine that if I called friends of mine in Houston or in Miami, that some of those animals were, some of them did get caught up in the storm, but I imagine some of those animals had also migrated a little bit early because they had gotten a little bit of a sense from the cosmos that this storm was about to come, so I might want to.
Right, they'll get to higher ground or something. They'll figure it out. Yeah. Well, let me tell you a little story that I discovered about the subconscious mind. See, the subconscious mind acts in humans just like whatever that morphogenetic field is that has. You see birds flying in formation. I can't, if I'm walking and I see birds flying, I have to stop and watch them because I'm always intrigued. Do you know they fly in formation just like fish swim in formation? Do you know a school of fish can be a mile long and a half a mile wide, and there can be a whale a half a mile out, in front of them, and that whale can be coming to eat them. And do you know the fish at the leading point and the fish a mile back at the tail point will all move away from the whale at the same time? It's no like, oh, some of them left and then some of them got eaten. No, they move as one body. And I talk about the subconscious mind, and I learned this lesson by just dissecting how my intuition works through my subconscious mind. And this is what we've got to learn how to do. We've got to learn how to listen to that inner voice, that intuition, that still small voice within us. And we got to stop making it so esoteric that people think they got to climb Mount Everest to get it. The kingdom is within you. No true teacher has ever told you that the kingdom was somewhere else. Every true teacher has told you that it's within you. And so I was telling people about my subconscious mind is my inner child, and so I teach my clients who I coach to name their inner child and give it a loving name. So I call mine IC for inner child, imaginary companion. And if I'm in church, I might call it my inner Christ, right? But I call it IC. So I was going to play at this author lived in Woodside, 30 miles out of San Francisco. Someone was picking me up. The car was picking me up to go perform at this writer's house. She was having a party. And so when a girlfriend of mine came to get me, this girlfriend of mine happened to be one of the top therapists in San Francisco, and she came to get me. She took me out here to this party, and as I was walking out of my apartment, I see my inner voice said, take that 7-grain loaf of bread on top of your refrigerator with you. And quite frankly, what I said to I talk to myself all the time, and we're going to talk a little bit. I hope we have time to talk about the inner dialogue a lot, because your inner dialogue, what you're saying to yourself, is your ID. Your inner dialogue is creating your life by identifying with what you're saying to yourself. So IC said, take that loaf of bread, and I discounted it. And I said, basically, I'm not going to walk into these rich folks' house with a loaf of bread under my arm, guitar in the other hand, right? So I completely discounted the message. I got to the party, so I walked into the refreshment area to see if they had, any bread, right? And, of course, they had bread from 7 countries because this woman lived in $1 million house, right? So after the party, my girlfriend says, hey, let's go stay at my penthouse tonight, and we'll go to Garibaldi's for breakfast in the morning. Now, Garibaldi's is the breakfast place in San Francisco. You got to get there at 8:30, or you're standing down at the corner, right? And so I said, bet. So we went to a fabulous pad, because it was way more fabulous than mine, and I woke up in the morning, and I smelled bacon. And I yelled down the hall, and I said, what am I smelling? It smells fabulous. And my girlfriend says, I'm cooking you breakfast, but my maid forgot to buy what?
Bread.
Exactly. And I yelled down the hallway, and I said, it's my fault. And she said, William Burton, you're so crazy. How is me being out of bread your fault? I said, IC told me to take bread to the party. I could have thrown it in the trunk of the car and just forgotten about it. And I said, and then I stopped. And I said, something inside of me trying to perfect a breakfast that I didn't know that I was going to get. And I'm telling you, this blew my mind. There's something working inside of me trying to fix my breakfast. And then it hit me. I said, if there's something trying to fix my breakfast inside of me, what about my other aspirations and my goals and my dreams for my community, for the planet, for the universe, And so I realized that there was something inside of me attempting to cooperate with me in making my life better. And so then I started studying the subconscious mind. Man, and let me tell you, go to YouTube and study the subconscious mind. It's intriguing. And what you learn is that I literally think it's, I call it my emotion picture studio. You see, because it takes your emotions and it develops them in the darkness of that studio dark room, right? So it's my emotion picture studio that creates our circumstances and our experiences. So the subconscious mind houses a lot of stuff. It never sleeps. It never sleeps. The subconscious mind never forgets. Did you know that they can hypnotize you And if you walk to school when you were in the 8th grade, they can ask you